Hi, my name is David Knight. Welcome to the Easter collection of those amazing Psalms. Psalm 98, a new song to sing. Easter Sunday morning, the earth began to hear a new song. It was not just the birds welcoming the dawn, although, like bird songs, it heralded the end of darkness and the start of a whole new day. Sing to God a new song, for He has done marvelous things. His right hand has won a mighty victory, and His holy arm has shown its saving power. Since the opening pages of human history, a grim death sentence hung over the heads of our race. But in the fullness of time, Jesus came among us as a true, bona fide human being like us, to live as one of us, to take on death as one of us, to die for us. And then the death sentence collapsed. Death began to work backwards, as Aslan explained it in the Narnia stories. Jesus burst the chains of death and declared victory. God's self-giving love and life-giving power won the day. This was the moment envisioned centuries before in Psalm 98, that marvelous thing that God did. That was evident first in the act of creation, seen again in the victory of the Exodus, which is what our psalm originally had in mind, but which also foreshadowed the momentous climax of history that would give the world something to sing about. Jesus was scorned by the powers of his day and executed as a failed king. But his triumphant resurrection to life vindicated him and gives evidence that God has never forgotten his love and faithfulness to his people Israel, and indeed to the whole world. Jesus' victory over death demonstrates his credentials not just as Israel's king, but as King of all kings, as King of the nations. Verse 4 says, "All people everywhere have seen the victory of our God." For hundreds of years, this was just a fervent dream. But now that victory is being proclaimed to every corner of the earth. The overflow of God's love and power and freedom flows now to all nations. Verse 4 calls out not just for a new song, but for an expanded choir. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all the earth. Break forth into joyous song and sing praises. And it calls for a global orchestra. Sing praises to the Lord with the harp, with the lyre and with melodies, with trumpets and cornets. Make a joyful noise before the Lord, who is our King. Then the psalm expands the celebration even more by inviting the whole of creation to add its voice and rhythms to the symphony. Let the sea roar with waves, seagulls, and whale songs, the land and everything alive on the face of the earth. Let the oceans clap their hands, and let the hills sing together for joy at the presence of the Lord. Nature's creator and Lord has not abandoned her. He will return to culminate his victory. The triumph of Easter was a signal that a new world is on the way. Not just Israel, but all nations. Not just humans, but the whole created order. God is making all things new. In Jesus, God came among us as rescuer and liberator. He will come again, as Psalm 98 says, as judge. For he is coming to judge the earth. He will judge the world with righteousness and the peoples with equity, which means he will dispense true justice. He will remove every toxic thing. He will replace every ugliness with beauty and realign everything that is out of kilter so that the whole cosmos will reflect his goodness and that all people and all creatures can bask in God's creative love and justice, his peace and joy, and swell the Easter victory song of the risen Lord that will echo on forever. This psalm invites us to anticipate that victory celebration even now, to get our hearts in tune by singing to God a new song today. Let me suggest taking the first two verses of the psalm and praying them back to God. If you can sing, belt it out. But if you're like me, read the words and make it personal. Lord, I can't hold a tune, but I sing you this song today, for you have done marvelous things, even in my life. Your right hand won a mighty victory in Jesus, and your holy arm showed its saving power in raising him from death. And then let your own words form from your heart. Be glad. Join the birds in declaring the great Easter song, "The Lord is risen. He is risen indeed." Happy Easter.